Hi, welcome to class. We're the only two right now, but the other ones will show up eventually, right? I hate my life. I hate my life. And Professor Sunreis Productions! Hello class, Professor Sunreis here. So, like I said, I'm making the switch from Brave PK to Brave Virtual World. Main reason is just the meta call. Brave Virtual World is basically a very similar deck to the PK list. It has like a diverse end board, has high recurability, but most importantly, the Virtual World card actually have something against the Brave card in the form of Chucha. Just popping the token just makes the Brave engine completely dead most of the time. So it just feels like better to play it right now. I'm not completely 100% happy with how I'm playing with the deck. I still need to learn all the combos because it's a very weird deck to play, especially the list which I'm running, because a lot of the bricks are actually not really bricky and you can play with them, and I just need to test out the deck here and there. But overall, I'm really happy with how the deck is performing in my testing, and I hope you guys are interested in the deck as well. So let's just get right into the video. But of course, you should never forget to subscribe to my channel because I'm just loving this shit, and I'm gonna do a shit ton of more content in the future, especially with Brave Virtual World. So let's get right into the profile. I'm your new mommy now. So here we are in the profile. This is a 42 card list, by the way. Main reason I went this route is I tested all the other Brave Virtual lists which were out there, which are like hard combo decks with like 43 to 45 cards. Not playing a lot of Handtraps and playing a lot of one-off bricks, which can really hurt you, especially in a long tournament. I'm really not a fan of them. And also like playing 45 cards and only playing like 8 defensive cards or something like that. And there's like a high roll. Usually they only play like 6. It just doesn't feel nice. And maybe it was okay like a few weeks ago, but because Droplet was really good on its own, and it was enough to see it. But right now, Droplet is just not good enough because of all the decks which can end on Herald. So I feel like playing the Handtrap route and going for 12 Handtraps into 40 to 43 card deck list just is the correct way. This is especially good in this deck because the Handtraps have other synergies. Nibiru gives you a body on the board. They're all tuners, so they open up a lot of plays into Needle Fiber. Baronets with a level 3 tuners. Cupid Pitch with a level 1 tuner, so they all have synergies with normal summon and they have value in that. They're also good discard fodders because of M7, and the deck runs a lot of discards, so this feels really good. Yeah, let's just get into the list, and I'm gonna explain my thought process while I'm going. Overall, I'm really happy with the Virtual World engine. I play 3 Lulu, of course. This is the best one. It's super searchable, but you still wanna just hard open it. 3 Gigi. This is like the second best name just because it can be normaled, and you won't brick on multiples of these. The recursion is nice because this takes a slower approach and just ends on like 3 to 4 disruptions, I would say, and then just grind out the opponent with 2 names in the crackback. 2 Lily, this is probably the worst name in this deck. It's just there because of the extra. You just want to have a few names, and they all can start out the combo. Reason that this is the worst name is because you usually only want to send 1 with it, so you don't lock yourself out of the virtual cards because you don't have enough cards to send. So this is just doesn't really have its benefit of the card it sends, and the level 6 body is of course very good, but this is a 2-off is super fine because it is searchable by the Cupid Pitch line if you already have a Lulu. So this is fine to draw, and also fine at 2 because you don't really need it. And the best body later on in the combo, of course, the 2 Lao Lao. Reason you play this as a 2 is just because you don't want to start with it. So you'd rather have these 6 as a starter. Even this one is fine, and then this later on to actually use the revive effect to stop the like finish off the plays and finish on the Shenshin or something like that. Then 1 Neon, you don't need more than them. I think pretty much everyone is on 1 Neon right now because thanks to 3 E-Tail, you just don't need the second one. And while it's a decent normal summon, it just doesn't do enough on its own. So it's fine at 1. I haven't really missed it. For the spell traps, we play 2 Kowloon. This does seem weird, but it just doesn't do anything on its own. And I just wanted to make space for Handtraps and cut the cards which break you the most on the meantime. Or probably I want to cut the breaks first and then fill them with Handtraps. So 2 Kowloon is fine for me because it is so searchable with Lulu, and Lulu is so searchable by the whole Needle Fiber package. I feel like it is the right call to put Kowloon at 2. I would put it at 1 even. Problem is, you need the spell and trap names in the deck to actually resolve the virtual walls. This is like the biggest problem I had with the deck, and every time in testing I ran into it. I thought back my plays, and I definitely could have played around that. So once I am stronger with the technical play of the deck, I feel like the ratio should be fine. 2 Klinglong, you don't need more than them. You're not playing Desires because of only one of the deck inherently runs. So you will never banish more than you will never banish it. So 2 is super fine, and like I said, you don't want to hard draw these cards. Same as 2 Chucha. Just for the loop, you want to have 2. You of course use 2 in the main combo. 1 you have set, 1 you use in the grave. But overall, these are just way too bricky to play more of them. So I'm super fine with that setup. Like I said, once I get more into the combos of this deck, I should be fine with the low amount of cards in there. For the Brave cards, these are just really strong, but they do have a problem, which I'm going to run over once I'm finished with the cards I'm showing. So 2 Enchantress, 2 Ride, and then the 1 Adventure, the Griffin, and the Draco bag. Draco bag is the only real brick of this engine, because these all have insane synergy and open up Baroness lines to protect your plays. Like Fateful Adventure is insane, going second on its own. Griffin Rider is a level 7, so any level 3 tuner gives you Baroness, so they're fine to draw on their own. Reason I'm not maxing out on these is for multiple. First off, all the space. I really wanted to have the Handtraps, so cutting these is fine. Reason for cutting them as being fine is that mostly, if you start with them, you don't have the space for the Hulk line, so it is quite weird to start out with them if you have to use the Hulk line first. Secondly, starting out with them and playing pure Virtual World underneath it also feels a little weird, because you don't have the space in the main monster zone, because you're taking away 2 main monster zone spaces. It becomes quite hard to play under that. And lastly, without a Snow, Beatrice just doesn't become a disruption on its own, so you don't really want to hard draw these and just use them later on in the combo to actually end on something. Your main line of nip protection will be a Crystal Wing, and after that you really want to go into a Beatrice to set up these, and then you want to end on Chucha, Crystal Wing, and a Griffin, and then like have a Handtrap with that, and like double follow-up, which is basically the play you want to go for. Maybe have a Shenshen with it, or have a Shenshen, Griffin Rider, stuff like that, depending on the matchup, of course. So you don't really need to hard open them, because they make you weird plays kind of weird. It is still amazing to hard open, especially if your adventure gets ogred, and then use any tuner for the Hulk line. So it's still fine to draw, and with Foolish you still have 5 ways into it, so it's not like you're not gonna open it. It's just we want to minimize the chance of opening it. And reason we still play the 2/2 is because we play a lot of Handtraps, and we will be playing Brave Control from time to time, but just drawing like 3 Handtraps and then like Brave cards. So we still want to have the ability to grind with the Brave engine a little. It's also nice if we hard open these, which is kind of bad. We really only want to see 1 of them. We can still use this as level 3 extender and give extra discard fodder for combo. So we really want to have all the things Brave Engine can do. We want to have them available to us. So this is like the minimal ratio we have to play for that, to have all the things we want. Of course, we play the 1 Foolish. This is like the best card in the deck because it can send a Strudo. So it either sets up Brave or Hulk lines. So if we see a Foolish, we can basically always play. So that's really cool. 3 Italy, also a very strong card, giving you access to a Brave Virtual World name without the normal summon, being level 3 tuner, being Neon if we need that, or allowed to use that. It's super strong, because a lot of times you have to summon a tuner with it, just because if you get Handtrapped on the first name, for example, you really want to go into a Needle Fiber after that. So most of the time you will summon Lulu of this, but there are times where you can summon Lily, Neon, which is really cool. And the 1 Despot, this is probably the second biggest brick after Draco bag. We can still use it to open up Cupid pitch lines, so there's still that. So it's not the worst to draw. But overall, the Hulk lines just feel really strong for Virtual World, because these basically all mean you get a name, and they're very good with the Brave engine, because Brave engine, let's be real, a lot of times we'll just get Handtrap. It's how Yu-Gi-Oh works right now. So it being still a non-tuner on the board, and just giving a tuner next to it, and just start using Needle Fiber lines, and after this one gets Handtrap, you could theoretically still Kowloon plus any body, or normal summon plus any Virtual World, and you can still good to go. This is so insane. So if you have like a Ride, E-tally and then have like 2 names, you are so strong and you're gonna play through 2 disruptions, no problem, which is very good right now for the meta, which spams Handtraps. Just being able to consistently, or like not consistently, but having the access to play through multiple disruptions on a quite regular basis just feels super strong. For the Handtrap lineup, this is pretty standard, just Ogre, Veiler, Ashe, and Nibiru. All of them have synergy. Nibiru giving your body on board opens up Hulk lines. These being tuners open up Hulk lines. Level 3 opens up Baroness. Level 1 opens up Cupid Pitch. And they all have the application against pretty much everything. Like Ogre is so strong right now. Veiler is super good right now against all the Anacondas, and not Dacta, but against basically all the Anacondas. Ashe is like decent. You just basically play it because it's better than Ghost Bill. And against Rogue, it's really good. It does its job, but Ashe is not really that good right now, in my opinion. Yeah, overall, like I said, 42 cards. You don't really need to play the 40 to still see like a double hand trap. It's fine at 42, and like I said, the 41 and the 42 cards were the extra ride and the extra enchantress to make the Brave Engine just more fluent and just a little stronger in the grind game if we have to play it pure. For the extra deck, we of course play the Needle Fiber combo. Cupid Pitch just feels so strong because just having access to extra names is just super strong, and it just makes the deck work so much better. Robodon is also a good card going second, just being able to pop something and just being a 2.1k body just to help your OTK is just super good. For the Brave cards, we play for the extra deck Beatrice to send Brave, of course. Play the one Yazi to use the token if we get disrupted going second. This one will force stuff out and then give us a Virtual World card on the with its effect, so we can play Virtual World after this, and one Baroness. A lot of times you will only use this for the Brave cards once it's disrupted. Usually you don't really want to go into a Baroness turn 1 because we don't have access to use the token or the Griffin Rider. If we have full Brave Engine, like we have a Ride or an Enchantress, we don't really want to go into the Baroness because it just feels suboptimal to leave the Griffin or the token there on the field. This is mainly used if we hard draw a Griffin or an Adventure, so we, especially with Adventure, to still have something to, like it being a decent extender for our game plan. And going second, this is just insane. Usually want to go into it going second because like these open up so many plays. So going second, the Brave card just becomes so much stronger. And going first, you don't really use them too much. For the Synchros, for the Brave card, for the Virtual World, of course, we play the Crystal Wing package. Like I said, this is the main way we protect ourselves from Nibiru, and this is just, like still something very strong to end on. The 2 Synchro 6s, which plus us, they are super strong in this deck because we will deck thin the deck completely. We Brave Engine gives you, like if you're Enchantress, it gives you a Ride, it gives you Adventure, it gives you Griffin, gives you Draco back, so you get a lot of cards out of the deck, especially with the Virtual World card as well, because they send so many cards, so you really are gonna deck thin your deck. So the draws with this are just super strong, either being Handtraps or extra names just comes up a lot of times where this will be just an insane draw to help you go off. And like I said, adding on a decent board like Crystal Ring, Griffin Rider, Chucha, Shen, like this is the high roll board we can end on, and like having a hand trap with it is just completely nuts in my opinion. Shen. Have you guys thought about it? I'm gonna do a quick math here. Virtual World is a deck which can inherently brick, is like a very good engine to have in combo decks, and it has a Floodgate boss monster. Shen is our new mommy. She's the new Colossus, and I'm loving it. So yeah, Shen is just a really good card. Just being a Floodgate is super strong against 10Es, against PKs. You really want to end on this in a lot of matchups because it's just so strong. Juju, this is like a very good toolbox card. It does have nice protection against a lot of back row decks. They have struggled outing this, and most importantly, you want to synchro into this with the Hulk line to have a Virtual World on the on the board, and then use Cupid Pitch to search a Virtual World, mostly Lulu. For the XYZs, play the one. Let's put them away first. We play the one Breaksword. Breaksword is just really strong because it gives the 2 level 3s a way to force something going second. M7, really strong card, gives you follow-up, gives you extra disruptions by picking back Handtraps, especially like blowout Handtraps like Lancia. If you can recycle them, it just feels really good. And 1 Zeus, basically wanting to do it so because M7 going second gives you back like a name or a hand trap, and then you attack, overlay for Zeus, and M7 basically turns into 2 disruption on its own, which is very good. So that's it for the extra deck. For the side deck, we play the 3 Lightning Storm. This card is just super strong. The meta doesn't really call for back row hate, but I still feel like just playing 3 of them, especially if they are so versatile, just feels correct. The good thing about this deck is it actually has a very good matchup into back row decks inherently because of cards like Chucha and how the virtual world cards work. They're like super recurable and like super grindy, so the deck actually is pretty good against back row and grind decks anyways. So it just feels really good to not over prepare, not need to over prepare for them because they're so low represented right now, because we do have the good matchup, and then if we still play against them, we can still put in the 3 Lightning Storm and are usually fine. For going first, we have the 1 Cold and 2 Anti-Spell. I just really want to have something to put in going first to just have stronger cards there. The reason we don't want to play too many of them is because they're not monsters and we cannot recur them with M7, and we really want that to be our main game plan. And against Handtraps, going second, 3 Token Collector. This gives you a body on the board. This is a level 4. This is sendable by Beatrice. This is completely insane, and it's super strong in the meta right now against Eldritch Piles, against everything playing Brave, against everything playing Aurora combos. This card is insane, and it being able to be sent by Beatrice just completely nuts. Being a body for a Needle Fiber combo of our own, or level 4 for Baroness plays, it's just nuts. 2 Lancia. I really want to play 3 of them. Sadly, the space is not there. I also thought about cutting them for Drolls, because Droll I feel like is a little better against Sunreis. But then again, our Sunreis matchup is not completely busted because we do have quite a few wind monsters which we can special. So it's not the worst. And then the Gamma package, because it's just the strongest going second right now. Yeah, overall, I'm really happy with the theory of this deck. I'm not yet comfortable enough for the technical play. I still do a lot of misplays and testing, so there could definitely be some things I need to change in this list, but overall I'm really happy with how the deck plays out. So yeah, if you feel like this deck profile is something for you, leave a like, leave a follow if you want to, subscribe my channel. Overall, I feel like this deck is super strong right now, and I hope you're having a good one because class is dismissed. You guys are free to leave. Professor Sunreis out. Peace.